Well, friends in Glendora who are looking for a home or possibly watching the market in case they're thinking of selling in the near future, I'm going to give you an update on what has happened the last month in October, what I expect to happen in the next few months, November, December, and January. And I'm going to show you how to calculate how much you need to make to buy a particular home. And I'm going to show you a few houses that I think are cool in today's market from my perspective as an agent and what it would take to buy each of those houses. Let's jump right in. So I like to look at the stats every month, and the first thing I look at is new listings. The new listings are declining toward the end of the year, which is very cyclical, as you'll see from this graph. Up, down, and we're trending down. Active listings, similar cyclicality, however, generally trending upward over the last 3 years, okay? So basically higher lows, higher highs. More and more listings each year over the last 3 years. Days active in the MLS, this is otherwise known as days on market, how long it takes a property to sell. You'll see it's a cyclical effect of properties taking longer to sell towards the end of the year and much quicker sales in the springtime. Then longer to sell towards the end of the year, then quicker sale in springtime, longer to sell towards the end of the year, quicker sale in springtime, longer to sell. However, this year we've had an abrupt stop, which is really interesting because it's not normal for the days on market to stop so quickly and so suddenly, although it did happen in 2022, as you'll see here. But then it did resume the trend towards the end of the year. That is what I'm predicting for this year. We did have a little pause, a little strength in the market the last couple months, which is good for homeowners. And now I do expect it to probably continue its trend and get a little slower towards the end of the year. But what I am expecting in January and beyond is an about face where things turn around and start to sell a lot quicker as they have in the last 1, 2, 3 years, and say 4 years and 5 years, even before that, okay? It's very, very, very typical for the demand to slow down towards the end of the year because of holidays and travel plans, and then to pick up again back in January toward all the way through June. And now a lot of people think, well, the best time to sell is in the summer. Well, it's kind of a mixed bag, double-edged sword, because really the best time to sell, in my opinion, is between January and June. Once you miss the June cutoff and you hit July 4th, families are traveling most of the summer, especially if they have kids. It's really hard because the kids are out of school. So they got to entertain the kids. They got to take them out places and just go on vacation, go to Disneyland, go to Florida, go wherever you want to go, okay? Maybe the colder areas since we live in California. But the point is, summertime, July and August is for family vacations. So it's hard to get people to show up to the open houses and to see the properties all at the same time. You want everybody coming at the same time to create this bidding war effect. But the reality is people are out and about and they see a house online like, yeah, I'd love to see that house when I get back from my vacation in 2 weeks. Who's got 2 weeks to wait for these people, right? So it's hard to get that bidding war effect that sellers love so much. So my buyers have actually done well in summer. My sellers, obviously we still sell properties. We don't just take a 6 month, take 6 months off every year. We still sell properties, but it's harder. That's all I'm saying. It's harder because it's hard to get all the buyers in the room at the same time. So January to June, strong. July, August, meh. September, October, little bump, as you'll see here from the pause in the days on market, and I'm going to show you in another graph actually. And then November, December, not my favorite. Months of supply, I'm going to show that to you again in a couple more graphs. Months of supply trending upward over the last 3 years, but higher highs and higher lows. And price per square foot, check out this cyclicality right here. Ooh, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, okay? You go up in the beginning of the year, down in the second half of the year, up in the beginning of the year, down in the second half of the year, up in the beginning of the year, down in the second half of the year, up and then down again. That's the cyclicality of the price per square foot. That shows you the demand is picking up in the beginning of the year because price per square foot is jumping. And it shows you the demand is softening in the second half of the year because price per square foot is falling. But the last 2 months, we've had this little bump, up the last 2 months. And that's fun. That's really interesting and not normal, but it did happen back in 2021. And it also happened in 2023 and 2024. So maybe it's a little more normal than you might expect. And I like to call this the back to school effect, because I told you that people are on vacation July and August. Now September comes around, people are back in, kids are back in school, parents are back to the routines. It's easier to kind of have a predictable schedule. And if you see a house, you say, I'll go look at it after work, or I'll go look at it at lunchtime, or I'll go look at it on Saturday. You have more of a normal routine, either before or after the sports games or whatever. Typically after, because most of the open houses are 1 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. So, or after church too. So, long story short, did have a little bit of a bump the last 2 months, which is counterintuitive, but I do expect it to resume its cyclical trend towards the end of the year here in Glendora and beyond. Now, the price of the last list price is hovering around 100, and the price of the original price, the percentage, of the original price is around 97.5, 97.8. That means people originally listed their properties higher, and they were hoping to get that price that their friend got last year. It didn't happen, so they lowered the price. But once they lowered the price, they got it. Here, showing by this graph of the percentage of the last list price is 100. So like, let's just say they started at $1 million, they didn't get the offers they wanted, they lowered it to 900, and then they got the 900. That's what's shown in this graph of 100% right here. Now, mortgage rates these days are hovering around 6.25%. Okay, they're hovering around 6.25%, and that's, you see these two drops right here, boom, and then up, and then boom again. That first drop is last month when the Fed projected that they were going to start lowering rates again. Everybody was like, woohoo, lower rates. So rates came down, but then they only lowered it 0.25% instead of 0.5%, which some people were speculating. So they jumped back up. Then this month they lowered them another 0.25%, so they came back down. But now they just came out with an announcement saying, hey, we're not just on this lowering path, we're not just lowering it every month by 0.25%. We're going to watch the market, and we think next year is going to be pretty strong. The Fed is saying this. And so we're probably not going to lower rates next year. Whoop, it bounced right back up. So Fed, the interest rates are sensitive. They're not controlled by the Fed, but they're sensitive to Fed announcements. And if the Fed thinks next year is going to be strong, then rates bounce back up again. So here we are at around 6.25. So at 6.25, if you were thinking about buying a house in today's market, or if you're thinking about selling your house and you want to know what a buyer is thinking about, watch this. If you're thinking about buying a house in today's market, let's say the house is $800,000. The payment with 20% down, which is $160,000, at 6.25, 1.2% property tax, which is $9,600 a year, $2,500 a year in home insurance, and $200 a month for, let's just call it utilities. The monthly payment, you're all in, would be about $5,150. Okay, so a lender wants to see you making double that amount. $5,150 times 2. That's $10,000 a month times 12 months. That's $123,000 a year. Okay. So to buy an $800,000 house, you and your significant other, or whoever is in your household, whoever wants to join the loan, it could be you and your adult kids, or it could be you and your parents as co-signers. Either one, or it could be you and your spouse, you and your significant other. Whoever wants to co-sign your loan, as long as all that income adds up to more than $125,000, you can afford an $800,000 house with 20% down. Now, what about $1 million house? $63.76. Let's do that. $63.76 times 2 times, not 28, times 2 times 12. $153,000. You got to make $150 to make to buy $1 million house. Let's look at 1.2. 76.44 times 2 times 12. That's 183. You and your family, or you and everyone on the loan, has to make 183 or more to buy a $1.2 million house with 20% down. Let's look at 1.5. 10,000. Oh, I changed it to 10% here, okay? Because less people have $300,000 laying around than 150. But let's go with this. If you got 20%, which is $300,000 down, 96.60 times 2 times 12. 230 or more. So if you want to buy a $1.5 million house, you got to make at least $230,000. Everyone on the loan. So that could be 100 One person can make 100, the other person can make 130, or one person can make 30, the other person can make 200. Doesn't matter. As long as it all adds up to 230 grand or more, you can buy a $1.5 million house with 20% down. Now, the reason I did this exercise is if you only had 10% down, all right, so you only got 150K saved up, but you make good money. 11,195 times 2 times 12, 268. As long as you and your significant other or whoever's getting on the loan makes 268 or more, you can buy a $1.5 million house with 10% down, which is 150 out of pocket. So a little ninja trick here to help you figure this out on the back of an envelope really quickly, really easily, without even using a mortgage calculator is, let's say 268 here, okay? A $1.5 million house divided by 268,000 is 5.6. That's assuming 10%. Let's go with 20%, all right? 20%, there's a lot of assumptions here, but let's just go with, we said 96, what did we say? Sorry, you guys were watching, not me. Times 2 times 12, boom. $1.5 million house divided by 231,000. 6.5, all right? Multiply your income. Whatever your income is, multiply it by 6 or 6.5, and you will have a rough idea of what you can afford. If you make 250 times 6.5, you can afford a $1.6 million house. You make 200,000 times 6.5, you can afford a $1.3 million house. If you make 150,000 times 6.5, you can afford a $975,000 house. Take your total income, everyone who wants to be on the loan, who's willing to be on the loan, multiply it by 6.5, you'll have a good idea of what amount you can afford to purchase. Now, there are some nuances like your car payment and your student loan payments, so just use it as a benchmark and then call me and I'll introduce you to a lender who can help you figure out the exact amount so that you can go shopping for the right kind of loan. Now, before we jump off this, I want to show you a couple houses that I find really interesting in Glendora that I would look at if I were you in these different price points, okay? And if you're selling, I'm going to show you what's being offered out there so that you can see how you compare. So I'm going to go low to high, starting with a nice clean starter home at 619 West Leeside here in North Glendora, La Fetra area, a little bit south of Foothill, okay? 730,000, 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,300 square feet, 7,200 square foot lot, built in 1951. Been on the market 75 days. Let's take a look. The house looks clean to me, okay? Decent curb appeal. Ooh, it's remodeled inside. This is a nice house. Open concept kitchen, living room. Let's go through these 28 pictures really quickly. I'm going super fast. If you want me to send you the listing, just shoot me a text or an email. My information is in the description and I will send you the full listing. You can take a look at it. Nice mature trees and a decent sized backyard. This is a nice property for 730 grand. It's in a cul-de-sac, okay? No through traffic. Your kids can ride their bikes in the front yard without having cars flying down the road past your house. This is a great starter home. It's been on the market 75 days. I bet the sellers might be willing to negotiate if they've been on the market for 2 months. Here we go. 262 San Jose, 898, $900,000 house, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet, 8,500 square foot lot, 1947. Been on the market 37 days. Also a nice, clean, remodeled house. Nice green grass. Inside is beautiful. It's clean. It's got nice natural light. Oh, look at that. Chef's block counters. That's fun and different. All right. Look at this. Nice, clean house. Nice remodeled, updated, some cool little features here, little charm here and there. A pool, nice beautiful pool with views of the foothills. How could you not want to live here? With nice rope lights in the backyard so you can enjoy your fire pit with your friends. This is a beautiful house, fenced in, 900 grand, okay? Been on the market 37 days. I bet they would be willing to entertain an offer from us. So call me and I will help you see that house, research that house, or anything like it, and negotiate in strength. Glengrove, 109, 1.25 million, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, 12,000 square foot lot, built in 1972, 81 days on the market. I'll bet they're willing to play ball. Let's take a look. Spanish style roof, Spanish style house, nice curb appeal, nice green grass, nice beamed ceiling, nice fireplace. Okay, this house is perfect. Look at it. Why wouldn't you go for this house with 2,000 square feet? This is a forever house. You can live here forever with your family, raise your kids. It's a single story house, no interior stairs. So you can stay for a long time, not have to worry about going up and down. Look at the backyard. You got some sliders on both sides. Nice large patio and green grass. This is a perfect forever home. Even maybe some nice views, a lot of sky at least. All right, this is a great home to go for. 81 days on the market. Why not? Now, a couple of my favorites. One really interesting house, and then another one which I think is my personal favorite. But this on 459 North Barranca, I think they just listed it 2 days ago. 1.9 million, 5-bed, 2-bath, 3.5 bath, something like that. It's like 5-bed, 5-bath, 4,300 square feet on half an acre. Half an acre, okay, on North Barranca. This is an estate, not your typical house anywhere. Nice horseshoe driveway through 2 gates, an entrance gate and an exit gate, and a pedestrian gate. Okay, clay tile roof, cool mid-century meets Spanish style. Really interesting features here. Corner windows, plenty of natural light. 56 picks, so I gotta go fast. I'm sorry, I can't stay on these too long, otherwise I'll lose you. But if you want to see this property in more detail, please text me or email me and I will send you all the information on it. It has a guest suite, a 600 or 700 square foot guest suite with 2 bedrooms, I think. It's awesome. This is the guest suite that we're looking at, okay? Huge property, nice. Look at that beautiful pool with a jacuzzi and a waterfall and palm trees and privacy and lots of grounds for your kids or your pets to run around or your guests to enjoy. This is an estate. It's a beautiful, generational, multi-generational. Look at this, is the guest suite on top of the garage. So you can have friends come and stay with you or rent it out or something. Beautiful multi-generational estate to be held as long as possible. Look at that. Look at that survey. It's not a survey, but like the map of the property. This is the front kitchen here, front residence in the front, and then you have a second kitchen back here with a guest suite over the garage, and a third area like art studio garage area next to the pool. This property is so cool. If you want to see this property, you got to call me right away because I don't think it's going to last very long. Now, finally, see, my wife likes newer construction. I'm into the cool things. I'm like, yeah, let's remodel, let's fix it up, this is that. My wife's like, I don't want to touch that. I just want something turnkey. I just want to move in. I don't want to think about it. La Colina 1, 245 Snapdragon Lane. I've been watching this property for a long time. It's down to 2.5. I think they started close to 3 million. 6-bed, 5-bath, 6,000 square foot house. 25,000 square foot lot. It's only $412 a foot. Built in 2016. It's new construction. It's less than 10 years old. Okay? It's got a 3-car garage. One of them is detached, so you could actually convert it to an ADU if you wanted. Oh man, it's more than a 3-car garage because I forgot these 2 cars over here. One of them is a tandem, so I think it's a 4-car garage. Look at how big this property is. A big, flat, 100, maybe 90% usable, half an acre property with views of the foothills. It is phenomenal. I love this house. A little courtyard in the front as you walk in. That's a picture of the backyard. Yes, there's a couple overgrown weeds. Ignore them. The rest of it is turf. You can change it out for natural grass if you want, or keep it low maintenance so that you don't have to mow the lawn, your half-acre lawn. Let's look at this. This is all entrance. We haven't even made it into the house yet because it's so big. Huge ceilings. Okay, these are like at least 20 to 30 feet tall. Big open atrium style main living room. Okay, 2-story living room. Now you have a large kitchen with a massive island, high-end appliances. Okay, this is your dining, like family room attached to the dining area. This will be your dining area next to the kitchen, and a nice covered patio also facing the backyard. It does have 2 primary suites, one upstairs and one downstairs with its own separate external entrance right there. This is your second primary suite for your second generation. Your older generation wants to live with you but doesn't want any stairs. You and your kids can live upstairs, and the parents or grandparents can live downstairs and have their own entrance and their own exit to the backyard. So cool. I love this property. And my wife would love it too. If only we had $2.5 million, I would buy it. And if you have $2.5 million, I encourage you to buy it. Detached, nice jacuzzi tub here between his and hers sinks in the primary bathroom. The primary bathroom does have a nice standalone shower there, standalone toilet room. This is the closet. I know it looks like a bedroom, but it's the walk-in closet. It literally is the size of, it's bigger than most of the bedrooms in those starter homes that I sent you. Here is a third living space upstairs next to the bedroom. I call this the east wing. You got 2 primary suites on the west wing, and then you have another like 4 bedrooms on the east wing. The place is huge. 6,000 square foot house. Okay, here's another loft area where you can set up a TV, surround sound in the ceiling with beautiful views to the backyard and the foothills. Massive laundry room. This is the 2-car garage, but this one I think is a tandem, so it's actually a 3-car on one side, and then this is a detached on the other side. So, man, oh man, you are thinking of buying a home in Glendora, please reach out to me using my phone number, which is in the description. Call me or text me. And if you're thinking of selling your home in Glendora, I live here, I work here, I know the area, I know how to sell it and tell people all the great things. In fact, I have many other videos that you can watch on my channel about perks of Glendora, 15 fun facts about Glendora, pros and cons about Glendora. People research these videos and they call me. They're like, hey, I watched your video, I want to know more. So if you're thinking of buying, call me and I'll help you know more. And if you're thinking of selling, call me and I'll help you position yourself to reach the right buyers at the right time to maximize your sale. God bless you. Take care.